But I just want to talk about how like the Olympics, what's the name? Shakari tweeted, "Miss me yet?" But during like the 100-meter semi-finals, I think, and then all the Jamaicans and like a lot of people and like even like other Olympians were like bashing her, saying like nobody misses you, like Jamaicans about to beat you, and then they did. That's the update. The Jamaicans, well, they didn't beat her because she didn't run, but they came 1, 2, 3. The first place runner ran like the second best time ever, I think, and um, beat Shakari's trial time. But I think Shakari's time that she ran, she would have came second. But who knows? If she's there in that environment, she might have. She could have won. And I feel like it's not fair that people are like bashing her, saying that look at the time that this girl came in. Like you don't know how Shakari would have ran, like being in a competition with the best runners of the world, you know. So I just feel like it's hard to be like, oh, Shakari needs to be humble, and I do feel like because she's young, and this is all new to her, and she's probably still hurt. But I don't think her comment was bad. I mean, it was a little. It was a little.
So
cocky.
she was saying "miss me yet"
Like miss me yet?
about.
Like
I know
a
what she was
question.
saying, but like to who? To like
The audience. I guess people saying like
to the U.S. team though.
that's what I don't know. Like I don't know if that was supposed to be a bash
Because they
the US
didn't
woman.
perform
Yeah.
well.
I don't know.
I mean, if that's the case, then that's obviously
Maybe
nuts.
she's saying, "Oh, are you guys bored?" Like,
Yeah, like y'all didn't get to see me like do.
and I do feel like that it's kind of a little like, all right, like that's kind of, and that's why some Olympians actually spoke out too, because it's kind of like, all right, come on, you can't really disrespect like.
Because it's supposed to be a team.
And go ahead, be cocky. Black people in general, we deserve to be cocky, but it's like at the same time, you still kind of. And I saw today she just tweeted congratulations to the Jamaicans, like that one, but they're still bashing her, and I just feel like it's kind of wild, like. I don't know. And I also feel like when stuff like this happens, though, like in the diaspora, a lot of people like from they use this time to bash Black Americans. I feel like out of the whole diaspora, Black Americans get hated on the most. But the craziest thing is, me and Alex were both descendants of slavery in this country, but on both sides. So this is a really passionate topic for me. But as us two being like our ancestors literally built this country, it just makes me like, ugh, when people, especially like they'll be like Jamaican Americans, like, their ancestors or their parents are from Jamaica or something that live in the US and are benefiting off the things that the Black Americans, like our ancestors built for this country. Like you fled your country and came to America for a reason. So for you to go under a shade room, which I think is actually owned by a Jamaican woman, which is ironic, but you go into the shade room, which is a page that's literally built on Black American culture to like bash Shakari. It's almost like they waited for some, like some people were saying some crazy stuff. That type of stuff makes me mad. Like I think it comes from a place of like hurt too, because it's like my ancestors literally built this country. You came here to benefit off that in some ways, you did. But now you're gonna like talk down on Shakari and like you live in the country. Like how you talking about America's trash, but you live here. Like America got its issues, but during the Olympics, I got my flag. I'm like, I'm an American at the end of the day. My ancestors built this country, so I am proud to be an American. So like, it's just kind of weird how people will live in this country, and their ancestors are from somewhere else, and then they bash the woman of our country, and they bash the country. Like, you could be proud and have pride of your country, of course, but don't bash Shakari. Like, I don't know. I just feel like people were like took this opportunity to like really come crazy at her. It's crazy how you guys switch up so quick because everybody was all for her. That's another thing we were talking earlier. With fame, like people love you and they hate you. I don't know. And like her comment was a little cocky, but I don't think it like warranted some of the stuff people were saying. Like people like, that's why Americans suck. And that's why you're home. Jamaicans dominate, we're better than you. It's like, whoa. At the end, I thought we were all Black. I thought we was all Black.
No, I told you, everything is about convenience. It's whenever it works for you. So it's convenient now to be Jamaican because they won.
Yeah.
But if somebody Black prominent does something, then to support them.
Yeah. Black diaspora, we're so.
And this is not specific to Jamaicans, but it's for just in
across
general.
the whole diaspora. Everybody from Africa and the Caribbeans. Like and Black Americans, we be saying stuff too. We're not innocent. We say ignorant stuff too. So it's just like.
But I just don't think that Black Americans kill Africans for things.
We don't. I mean, I don't see it. I just I feel like the hate comes to us a lot more, which is crazy because Black Americans literally run this freaking culture. Like, they'll literally be clowning Black Americans using Av. I'm like, how you talking about y'all? Y'all is kind of a Southern thing. What you mean, y'all? Like, and they'll be using memes from like Martin and stuff. I'm like, it's a Black American show, like, or rap. Like, a lot of stuff. Like, people love our culture and they love us, and we did so much for this country. But then I just don't understand where the hatred is. It's like you literally like are letting the colonizers win. Like, I don't know. It just sickens me, especially when they like benefit off of like programs like that were made for Black Americans and stuff. Like, it's just.
I think that part of that is Black Americans' fault.
We're too open. We don't gatekeep enough. We let everybody else gatekeep their culture, but we don't. We don't.
And they won't let us either.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't think other cultures allow it.
No.
Like, they don't want us to gatekeep things.
Mm-mm. And if we want to, they get mad. But if something up there, like, you know, the whole Michael B. Jordan thing with him making the wine, whatever,
he got killed
drink,
off of a name.
They want to gatekeep that, but if we want to gatekeep something in our culture, it's like, why are you guys?
Like, if we wanted to gatekeep slang, and every time somebody's from another place use slang, then we just wear it in the comments.
It's just a lot of hypocrisy and like. You know, like I said, I'm a nice person. Like, I blame obviously colonialism and all that stuff because that's where it derives from. But it's like, come on, we gotta like unlearn stuff. Like, let's stop the hatred. We're like, you could have pride from being from your country, of course. You could have pride from where your family from and what your culture is, but don't bash us and our culture because being a Black American is still a culture. Like, we don't know where we're from. And that's what's the, you know, our culture is making beauty from the pain. Like, we created a whole culture of not knowing where we're from and being stripped of everything, created almost every music genre. Like, come on, give us our credit. We created a whole freaking culture that's loved worldwide. Everybody try to talk like us, be like us. Don't try to bash us. Like, it's just frustrating. And the Black Americans, we're not innocent either. You know, there's a lot of stupid stuff that we've said growing up, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, it just frustrates me because like people, I feel like in situations like with Sha'Carri, it's like people wait for a moment like this.
I think that
tweeting from freaking America, like you're not Jamaican.
Even
your ethnicity is, but your nationality, you're an American. You don't live in Jamaica.
Even if you want to talk crazy, and like in my opinion, even if you want to talk crazy, then talk crazy from your country.
That's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. Like, how you talking crazy in New York?
Yeah, like tweet from your country.
You're not like, you really don't love your country that much. If like you're old enough to move back, go move back there. Like, that's.
I was gonna say move back, but then that sounds a little. I know.
Go back to your country. It sounds like it's giving Republican Trump people.
Yeah, you're Republican.
It's just like.
But yeah, I don't think
you can't, like, why move here then? Like, if you think our country's so trash and you think the people here are so trash, that's my whole issue. Then why are you here?
I see some of the stuff that goes down in other countries, and I see why people.
And that's why you're here. And my people, my ancestors did this. We built this. We fought. My dad went to the Million Man March.
Millionaire March.
I'm tired.
Where is that at?
My dad and my grandpa. Rest in peace to my grandpa. Went to the Million Man March. Our grandmas and stuff was in the South.
Our last names are slave names.
Sparks. Yeah, it's like we real Black Americans, both sides. So like, I'm really passionate about this. Like, I don't think people understand. And I try not to get into that bag because I have like a lot of people that I know who are like, a lot of my friends and everybody like around me know where they're from, and you know, are really, you know, take pride in where they're from. Their parents are from. Where their parents are from. That's not where you're from.
You're still American.
Which it still is their ethnicity. Like, that's still their culture. Because. Yeah. But it's just like. It's just hard for me because it's like their benefits.
No, here's.
I don't want to offend. That's why I'm trying to say this lightly because, like I said, I have like a lot of people in my life that. Like that.
It's almost like, and hopefully this isn't offensive the way I say this, but it's almost like when you had like when kids disrespect their parents, it's like. You disrespecting your parents, and then you go and eat the food out their fridge. Yeah. Go watch the TV on their dime, tweeting them from their Wi-Fi, all this other stuff. And it's like, if you're gonna talk, then at least
Like at least
talk from a place where you're not getting benefits.
yeah.
Like you're not.
That's why people who live in these countries that are talking crazy, I'm like, okay, let's fight. Like talk crazy because you're in Jamaica or in whatever country you're from.
Then we could go at
Tweeting
it.
from your place. You're not using ab. You're speaking in your native slang because you don't live in this country, and you don't consume that. Go ahead. But it's kind of hard to respect the opinions. Like people are talking crazy, talking in ab, living in the U.S., talking crazy.
Yeah.
About like you could have pride for where your family is from and where your culture is from, but it's when you start bashing and like being disrespectful.
Yeah, I think it's God, because I could spin so many things to a million different topics.
Yeah.
It's like almost like with white people and how being pro-black isn't anti-white.
Yeah.
Like you can be pro where you're from and not be against
anti-Black American.
Yeah, like
You can't be like, I love, let me see, like Nigeria. I love my Nigerians. We're so much smarter than these Black Americans.
Yeah,
They're
then
so
it's crazy.
dumb.
It's like, wait, why are you?
They're so violent.
What do we have to do anything? I've seen the activities in other countries.
And there's this person I found on Twitter. Like he's like, can we start let's like, what was it, like an anti-Black American thing then? Like let's start like protesting Black American culture then, since you guys hate us so bad. I'm sure nobody will participate.
Yeah.
At all.
So I think it's stupid.
I'm really passionate about this topic.
I think that darker skinned people were very divisive within every part of the world. That's why I say darker skinned people, because it's not just in America, it's not just in Africa, it's not just in the islands, it's not just anywhere in the world where darker skinned people exist. If you don't mind, I'm about to get off for a second.
Yeah.
I think that that's why we aren't able to see much progress in terms of anything that we can do, because you take places like, and I really hate to use specific countries, but I'll just say in general, you take places that were colonized or taken over, and then either through rebellion and you gained your liberty, whatever it is, and then you see after the colonizers leave and it's left to the people, the native people, nothing gets better. In all honesty, it only gets worse. You have people that are destroying your own countries, and we're so divisive in our own communities that we can't make any progress. Like some of the things that go on, the atrocities across the world. I don't want to say specific places again, because I don't want to be, disrespectful, if that's even disrespectful, because pointing out something I don't think is disrespectful, but it's a fact. The way that things happen in these other places, it's us doing it to ourselves. So it's like we're so divisive within our own countries. And, well, I'm not going to say our own, because I'm from America, so I'm not claiming any of those other places.
Black Americans, like,
we're divisive too.
Yeah, now, but before we weren't.
We weren't.
Like Tulsa, we weren't. Like the stuff, us being divisive now is
Harlem.
Is all effects of white people seeing that we were doing good and destroying that.
Yeah. Because we see the way we divide ourselves.
We came together. Like there was a time where we really came together. Like our people came together, and unfortunately, now you see crime rates and stuff. Like
Black people in America, we divide ourselves by what street you grew up on. Yeah. By gang affiliations.
But it wasn't like that.
Other stuff. And
we actually did build, though.
Just like how in like African places they divide themselves by tribes, and
they literally killing, like it's the same thing.
Each other. It's the same gang wars all over the world. We have people that are dictators and robbing people's money and killing people, and it's just crazy all over the world. We're so divisive in our own individual communities all over the world, and that now we're even so divisive that we're beefing with people from across the world over what?
You need like you beefing with us, you need to worry about your country and we need to worry about ours. Like we got stuff to fix on our own stuff first.
And if
we're just so divided, like it's so sad.
And to me, if you're over here, if you're getting the benefit, not even if you're getting any benefit, if you're just over here, then to me you should be rolling.
You abandon your home country.
You should be rolling with us.
Yeah,
if anything, just like if I was.
Because what makes America America is that we all come from different places.
Yeah,
that's literally what makes America America.
That's what New York is.
Yeah.
And if I was to go over there, it would be the same thing. I would be rolling with them.
Yeah. If I move to your country, I'm gonna represent your country, and I'm gonna be like, all right, this is where I live. This is my home.
That's all it is. Just like I would never like expect somebody to like. It's not even necessarily that. Like if you're from a different place, and I'm not necessarily telling you to represent here. It's just like at least don't kill it if you're not gonna like.
Yeah.
Because I'm not throwing up the American flag everywhere, even though I've had
like, cause we know America has its issues.
Yeah,
like,
family history of all types of military and people fighting for the country, literally. So like I have that history.
Yeah, like
so I care,
World
but
War
I'm still
II veterans, in the family.
Because of stuff that happens, I'm still not gonna be throwing the flag up all the time. I'm not gonna celebrate 4th of July.
Because we know our country still has a lot of issues, and we still have a lot of evil stuff that happened. But I will say I'd much rather live here than any other country in the world. Like there's not any other country I want to be from.
Yeah.
And I take pride in the fact that our ancestors built a lot of this for us, and like I know that they'll be so happy to see where we're at today in life. Like I take pride in that. So. And if you take pride in your country, stay there. And you can move to another country for better opportunities and still take pride where you're from. But like
without killing the place that you moved to.
Just don't kill.
Like that's crazy to me.
It is crazy. That's why I get so mad about it. That's why I'm so passionate about it.
Like why would I if I moved to like London and started killing
bashing people from the UK?
I'm like, the UK is trash. Yeah. Like, oh, y'all suck. Like then it's crazy. If I moved anywhere to kill it.
And it's like a slap in the face because like affirmative action, all that stuff was all rooted in the civil rights era. Where at that point, yes, there was still a lot of immigrants in the country at that point. Because I think even like Marcus Garvey is an immigrant himself, I think, right? I don't know, there's like a lot of people that were rooted in the civil rights era that are helped. Immigrants. But they helped and they came here and they fought for this country.
And they weren't bashing.
They weren't bashing their new home.
Because what if
they helped it.
What if they came here and was like, nah, y'all white people is crazy, or y'all black people, y'all not doing nothing?
Yeah.
Like
no, they actually input it, and they would say, I'm an American, I live here, I'm an American, I'm gonna fight for the country, and the people who were here, who were stolen and brought here, I'm gonna fight for them too.
Yeah.
They didn't come here and represent their country OD and then act like and just benefiting off of.
If we all came together, then we would end up like white people.
We would.
And it's not like they don't have their issues too, but
they know how to come together and build
something.
Asians, they came here and dominated the Chinese restaurants and the hair stores.
Italians, everybody.
Indians, every group was able to come here.
And so did black people.
We did.
In Harlem. And so,
Harlem,
but then
Tulsa.
They don't let us play fair. Because, they try to take it from us.
But we was doing too good.
Because look at Wall Street, for example. They built the system, benefit off the system, and then hand off the opportunities of that system to themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what Wall Street is.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's how it all works. Like, look at Mark Zuckerberg, right? Facebook. He had an idea, stole it from some white people. Stole the idea. Well, he had an idea, then stole the idea. The advanced version of the idea from
those twins,
from the white people. Mm-hmm. Got a bunch of his white friends, and they built a multi-billion-dollar company. And that's how it works. But we could never do that.
We can never. And
we can't
I hope one day we can.
Hey, we can't even do that with people that have the resources to do so. We have so many black entertainers and aside from that, even millionaires just in general, from being doctors and all types. There's a lot of black millionaires.
They too busy worrying about.
Couldn't put any investment together.
Nope. It's sad. And like remember, I like to always loop around. It does root from a source, Colonizers, I'm gonna give them their claps because they did their thing. They've destroyed us, and the effects are still obviously prevalent today. So is that the right word? I can't talk.
Prevalent.
I have a speech impediment, guys. I'm just kidding. I don't, but I have an undiagnosed one.
But we have people like. It's tough for me to like. And I don't want to point out anybody specific, but we have a couple of black billionaires. And we have a lot of black entertainers with a lot of money that don't have their priority. Well, it's their priorities. I can't say what somebody's priorities.
What they spend their money on, yeah.
But what if we were able to have some sort of cohesion and pull their resources to build something?
There's so much we could do.
Like, I was just looking up again with Byron Allen, and shout out to Byron Allen. This man bought the Weather Channel.
I didn't know that.
For $300 million.
Wow.
Of other people's money.
Wow.
And it's his now.
Wow.
and bought it from multi-billion-dollar organizations. He bought it from like Comcast, Blackstone, and somebody else. And we have black people like this, and he's black, didn't come from the best situation. Crazy net worth, crazy money. He's like the Weather Channel is on everybody's iPhone, and Apple
isn't it run by them?
Is run by the Weather Channel.
Yeah, right.
When you scroll right there in the corner, the Weather Channel logo, go check your iPhone. That's his. He copped that for $300 million. Wow. We have black people with these resources, even if it's not $300 million, because that's an insane amount of money.
You could come together and all be part owners.
Yeah, or not even just for that, but just for anything in general. Like one thing I like with LeBron, for example, prime example, LeBron had people, his friends that he's been down with for decades. He worked, grinded, got in a position. He's a billionaire at this point. He's done everything that he can do in the game of basketball. Mm-hmm. And what did he do? He puts on his man, Maverick, who is in so many different ventures, running, Space Jam 2. Like Maverick is like the shop show. Like Maverick does so many different business ventures, and LeBron put him in position to do so. Mm-hmm. He put his friend Rich Paul in position to be his agent. So now anytime LeBron gets a deal, Rich Paul gets a cut of that. He's multi-millionaire, like a gazillion times over. Rich Paul has his own. He's like an agent, so like he helps to sign people. He has his own agency company thing. He signs Rich Paul has signed everybody in the NBA. Tens of millions of dollars, if not hundreds of millions of dollars coming in, and that's just from somebody.
I mean, a lot of people, I will say, like a lot of black entertainers and athletes are credit. They do that though.
Yeah.
They do put their friends on.
And they 1,000% do, and we need to build companies. Yeah. Instead of
living this lavish lifestyle just to flex and then instead of the show for it.
The individual accolades, because what if, like we'll just take Maverick. What if Maverick had a company and he was able to teach things and employ black people? Who was the person?
No, but who's that one person that actually forgot who it is? Some celebrity who's actually paying for the teaching the youth economics.
I'm not sure.
Someone, I think it's a rapper. I forgot who it was. It's some rapper or basketball player who actually his money. Wasn't 21 Savage?
I'm not sure.
It was 21 Savage. He has something where teaching kids financial literacy. He actually, which is smart. I'm like, okay, that's cool. He actually is doing something. Let me see. 21 Savage.
All you look for that is just we're so damn divisive that we can't even get along with each other.
We fighting over freaking Olympics.
Instead
of being happy that 3 black women, no matter where you're from, 3 black women just showed the whole world that our race
1,
is
2, and
the
3.
fastest. That's what it should be at the end of the day. I'm supporting America, obviously, in all events, but I just like to see black people win.
Yeah, but
and that's how it should be. Sha'Carri should also be able to be cocky because that's a part of the game. The same way rap is what it is and how it's nothing's off what's the word? Oh my god, nothing's off limits. Nothing's off limit in rap. That's the culture of it. The culture of sports is competitive.
It's competitive.
And let her talk crazy, and you can talk crazy too, but it doesn't have to come to bashing. All Sha'Carri said was "miss me yet." She didn't say nothing crazy. She was just very cocky, and rightfully so.
That, like you said perfectly, sports is.
That's the part of sports.
But
that's what makes it
most
fun.
people don't play sports, so they would never know what that's like.
There was people who I ran against who we was beefing before the race, looking at each other, talking crazy. But then afterwards, that was a good run. Easton,
it's all about competitiveness. I think my only problem with talking trash in sports is if you talk trash and can't back it up. Yeah. That's a problem.
But trash talking is a part of sports. That's what makes sports fun.
That's what makes it competitive.
It makes it fun. And after the fact that we all come together and can literally
if you take
have a good time.
And I'll debate putting clips and stuff into the video.
We need our soundboard too.
Yeah, we do need our soundboard, but
we got the thing. What's it called?
It's just a wild stretching pose.
I know. I probably look stupid.
You've done that mad times in the video. But
I do that.
If you take Russell Westbrook and Dame Lillard scrapping, fighting during games, going crazy on each other.
And some of the beef do be real.
But then after the game, they'll talk about each other and be like, yeah, it just gets competitive. Like they're not there to be friends with nobody.
Mm-hmm.
They're there to win games. They play with crazy intensity. They're not there to be buddies with people. Like they really don't like people. Like you see any Russell Westbrook interview, he don't even want to be there. Like that's that competitive nature that pushes you to be.
Like even Kobe, for example.
Yeah, Kobe didn't like him. He didn't like his own teammates.
And people like not hate him, but they like kind of like same way with Sha'Carri. Oh, he cocky. Look what happens when he passed. Like everybody was devastated because like you loved Kobe because he was the game. Like he was like the epitome of it.
Yeah.
Very competitive, very cocky. That's what it's about.
Just like LeBron. Like
people never had that type of competition in their life, and they don't understand. Like I'm sure the Jamaican woman who won and Sha'Carri talk and like she congratulated them probably like personally. Like they're probably cool. They know what it is about. And they're probably like, okay, we'll see you.
It's like that with rap.
Like
people just too soft. Like it should be like that in any sort of
competitive
any field.
Yeah.
If you do any, because the thing is, everything should be competition.
It should be. That's only gonna make you better.
When you submit your resume, you should be going. You know who said it? Let me talk, and I'm gonna find this quote.
Yeah. I'm also excited to go back on another thing. It was 21 Savage launched a free financial literacy course for kids.
See, that's fire. That's where everything starts, is education.
And then he's put together $100,000 in scholarships. Lit. But yeah, that's not being divisive. That's a good example of actually doing something that's going to help.
And he's not from here.
He's not.
Well, he was born overseas. Yeah, right?
But that's the thing. You see, he came here and still repped us. Like, that's why you didn't even know he was from there. Because he repped where he's from. And the place that made him who he is. And gave him the life that he has.